Oh, that's cool. Welcome to the seminar, everyone. Hope you all have a good morning. Okay, so we have Grant. He did What Must Be Done. He's doing it. Seth has the shares. Brett has the opening prayer. Zach has the closing prayer. And Asher has Dr. Master. Let's see. Check who's on deck, by the way. We have a journal question. We have, am I at war? If so, how? Helpful thinking is don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Ooh, that reminds me of like the good, better, best situation we talk about sometimes. Yeah. Stuff happening. Softball's away.
Oh, it's away. Are you playing?
No, I have band concert.
Oh yeah, there's a band concert.
Lacrosse, we have a home game on Friday.
Tennis is home for girls. Yeah.
No, you want to be up 4. Wait, are we talking about scale or just like?
Jake's playing tennis.
Yeah.
Right?
So you want to be higher? But what's a scale? Yeah.
Track tomorrow. Band tonight. Good luck, guys.
I think that's it, guys.
Fun.
Oh, make sure to congratulate the robotics team.
You're going to nationals.
Yeah.
World.
So
Worlds?
Worlds.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
You do worlds.
That's crazy.
High school worlds.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got some kids.
Ian
Ian's
Russell's
there.
in there, and yeah, that's it. You know anyone else? Oh, and Brett? Brett, are you in it?
No.
No?
That is so.
He doesn't like school, remember?
Right.
But he likes robotics. All right then. Thanks, Mina. Seth. So Seth is filling in. We missed him the other day when it was his share and he wasn't here. And now Jaron is not here today and it's supposed to be his share. So Seth got like 3 minutes notice that he's doing a share.
We're gonna sit. Well, Holly, would you like to play hymn number 101? Guide me to thee.
Never heard that in my whole life.
I mean, I can.
Look at that courage.
I can pick a more basic.
I like that attitude.
If it's an easy one, then I can definitely play it. If it's not an easy one, no guarantee.
It doesn't look like an easy one.
Let's.
What's it called? Guide me to thee.
Yeah.
My dog hurts.
Hey, you don't.
Here.
They lost.
You guys are cool.
I don't think we can sing this because we don't know it, but we can listen.
Yeah.
I don't.
You gonna talk about the words or
Do you
something?
know this one at all?
You gonna talk about the words in your share? Or?
No, I honestly just checked like a song that kind of sounds.
Okay.
Do you know this one at all? Do you want to play it? I have no.
No. Never sung that. Okay, we need a different
I
one.
can pick a different.
Okay.
That's too awkward.
I know that my ridiculous.
126.
136. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be good.
That was a good one.
Should we sing this one? Or
Sure.
okay. We're singing 136. One, 3, 6. All right. 136. Maybe have it memorized. I know that my Redeemer lives. What comfort this sweet sentence gives. He lives who once was dead. He lives, my ever
for this day, we got it in the summer today, and it was you can learn something today and have a good day. That we do may war come soon, and in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. I saw your sister. Ah, sure.
Okay, it is Matthew 11, 28 to 30.
Oh. Matthew 11?
Shut up, James. You suck.
Anybody? Take a shot.
You guys.
This was done recently. Do we need to open it up, guys? Mark it? Do something to try to get this in our head?
Oh.
Matthew 11. Come on, what is it?
This one should be pretty easy for you guys to remember. Even I remembered it.
I don't know how
Okay.
to do it.
Weird. Okay, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
Any Asher interpretation?
Asher
or
interpretations.
emphasis?
Well, if you don't know what a yoke is, well, then you're dumb. But yokes can make stuff easier. So, and I kind of like, we were talking about this on Sunday, how yokes can take ever to use. So you have to like go to him, and then he'll help you, I guess. But he's always there. It's not like sometimes you can use his yoke. His yoke is always there. So.
You should explain what a yoke is for those dumb people.
What? Raise your hand if you don't know what a yoke is.
Well, who's gonna raise their hand because they're dumb?
Because it's dumb. But we talked about it for the last like 3 Sunday schools.
Do you want to give a little recap? No, I know what it is. I'm just like, no.
Everyone knows what a yoke is.
Everybody know? So maybe Matthew 11, 2 lines like parallel together, 2 cows. Maybe that's a way to remember Matthew 11 yoke, possibly. That's what I'm going to use. Good. We could say so much about that. Such a powerful concept, imagery. But we'll just leave it there. Okay, Seth.
Okay, so at least recently for me, a big topic of conversation in my household directed towards me is a mission.
Directed towards me.
My mom, not very recently, but for quite a long time, has been asking me if I would like to go on a mission. My answer has always been yeah, because one, it's just something that I've wanted to do, and another thing is I don't think I would be able to forgive myself if I didn't go on one. But as I think about it more and more, of course I'm a teenager, and I also think about worldly things because I'm not perfect. And I've actually kind of thought about it a lot more. And it wasn't until last night that I kind of had an answer. Last night I was hanging out with a friend, and my sister actually called me because it was her B-day. And she started talking about a mission, and she asked me if I wanted to go on one. And then after the phone call was over, my friend asked me, "Also, you're Mormon?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a member of the church." And it's not that I tried to hide it from them or anything. It's just it never came up in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But then we actually had a pretty long talk about it, probably an hour or 2. We were just talking about it, and I was explaining to them what our church is about, what we do, and it wasn't until after that conversation that I realized that during that I really felt the spirit when I was sharing those things. And I think that's the experience that kind of was yeah, I really want to go on a mission. So I guess if you are thinking about going on a mission, keep thinking about it. And I know that I'm getting on one now because of a missionary experience that I had last night. But hopefully you guys can have an experience like that too.
Has anybody else felt something like that when you've been sharing things about what you think and how you feel about God and religion. It's one of the most powerful ways to invite the Spirit into your life is by sharing what you know.
Yeah, and I guess I wasn't waiting for Heavenly Father to give me a sign or like, hey, tell me if I need to go on a mission, because I know I need to. I know I'm supposed to. I guess I was kind of just waiting for that one experience or something to happen. And
sometimes it's like, yes, I have been asked to go on a mission. It's not a question of if you want me to go on a mission, right? It's like, that's already established. That's already there. It's like, what can I do as a missionary? What, like me as a missionary, I don't really get that yet. I know it's something that I maybe should do, but do you like? Do I have something to offer? That's a different question. You know?
I guess what I'm trying to say is I've always said, yeah, I want to go on a mission, but I never really like believed in myself. Or I would always be like, I guess I would always just say that I was just saying that I was going to go on a mission.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until last night that I really was like, yeah, I'm going.
Now you mean it.
Now I mean it. So
cool.
I guess that's kind of what just like.
Yeah.
My sister's gonna go on a mission. She decided.
Really? Right on. When did she let you know that?
A couple months ago.
That's really cool.
I mean, another thing is like the power of suggestion. Like recently, like all of my social media feeds have just been like about missionaries.
Yeah.
My friend who I went to FSY with yesterday was like, "Hey, I just got called to the Philippines," so that's really cool. It's like, I guess it's been a really, I don't know, it's supposed to happen.
You're getting messages from multiple angles.
I'm getting
like
messages
this
from
is
everyone.
for you. That's really cool. That happens too. God tends to orchestrate those kind of emphasis moments in our lives, like what Seth is experiencing. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Any questions or needs that we can talk about here before we get back into the discussion? Okay. What do you think about that question on the board? You ever think about you in the context of war? I think about you in the context of war a lot, all the time, actually. Turn to your neighbor and tell them what you think about that. What did you answer? What do you have to say about it? Good, good. So Ivy, you go talk to Preston. And I'll talk to Zach.
Not doing stuff. Oh, like you don't even want to do something.
It's like I want to go play golf with my friends, but I have to.
Who wants to share? Let's say you.
Polly said like between like homework and like sleep and like trying to decide if she should keep doing her homework or get some sleep. Actually,
It's a trade-off.
You actually go to bed?
And YouTube shorts.
Sleeping wins every time.
For us.
Sleeping wins every time. No, that's valid. Good, and what did Addie say?
Sorry,
Having a
I'm gonna
moment
throw this at Asher.
to work it out?
She said something similar, like figuring out schedules, what she needs to do, and when she should do it.
So the battle is with time, right? In a way, it's like I have a limited amount of time and a lot of things that I need and or want to do in that time, and I can't do all of it, so now I have to choose and I have to struggle. Good. Pass the ball to somebody.
Jeez, that's mean. Okay.
Eye for an eye.
Wait, what did you say?
Uh-oh.
It's embarrassing, Asher.
Wait, hang on, I can remember. Oh yeah, we said like similar things. In the sense that you're always technically at a war with Satan and yourself. Because Satan and your physical body are like tempting you, and you're like fighting technically for your soul in a metaphorical way.
Good. Anybody else think of it in those terms? I'm at war with the devil. Yeah. Any other concepts about this? I'm at war. Fighting time, really good, because you're all marching towards the grave, and there's a lot that you want to do before that happens, right? So, and there's only 24 hours in a day. Pass the ball right behind you. Don't even look.
So we kind of ran out of time, but what I was wanting to say is like constantly at war, like with the natural man within us, because it's like we have all these things we want to do and all these like habits our brain has formed and like stuff that we just naturally want to do, and like it's just the constant battle between like what you need to do and what you want to do. And like I think our actions throughout the day are the results of like those miniature battles going on within us. So it's like being able to choose between like the good, better, best, just like Amina was talking about. That just really kind of results in how we live our lives.
Very good. A bunch of micro decisions about who's in charge here. It's really helpful to think about how I am not my body. I'm not my brain. I'm not my thoughts even, right? I am something higher and more holy than all of that. This is just your vehicle, including your brain and your thoughts. It's like, that is not you. You're something different from that, because sometimes you get thoughts that aren't coming from you. You know that they're not, right? So it's good to think about, I'm the one in the driver's seat at the control panel, and there are all these different things that I'm controlling. Who's in charge here? Who's in charge of everything I'm doing throughout the day, like Grant was saying? Really good to think about it that way. Where it's the result of a bunch of small decisions. Wow, good toss right in his hand.
Well, when you were talking, I went first, so I took a lot of time explaining it. But in short, what I said is I was like, I feel like a big problem with something that I struggle with is like respecting other people. And it's like weird as that is to say out loud, it's definitely true. Like I don't respect a lot of people. Like, and I feel like it's really hard to open up to certain people because I'm an untrusting person. And it's like
there's a reason for that, though.
Yeah.
And the reason is good.
Yeah, but
you got to find the good in all your motivation.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of people that we do know that don't necessarily, they're at war with themselves or war with like their own issues, and they don't open up to people.
Good. So how people treat you generally has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them and whatever they're going through. It's good to remember that. Cut people a lot of slack. How they treat you usually has nothing to do with you. Okay, so this is good to get back into this conversation. I like your thoughts. I think you're right on course with everything that you've shared. I want to today finish exploring what are our motivations. The question is that I've asked you a few times, why did I sin, right? And if we don't know why, then we can't really get better at not doing it. We have to understand it really good to have power. Knowledge is power. So I am inviting you to be really introspective. For some of you, this comes easily. For some of you, it's the last thing in the world you want to do. You want to do anything besides look inside, right? That's depending on how we're built and what we're dealing with. It's a lot easier to distract and to check out instead of check in and look inside. So I'm inviting you to do more of that. I really liked our discussion yesterday, and we're going to do chapter 2 of that today. So it looks like this. Why did I sin? Name it to tame it. We already got through this, okay? The fundamental good instincts that drive human action. My human action. What is driving me? And yesterday we got through, we're taking from Jesus' temptations and what that says about human nature and Satan and how he works with us. But I'm trying to help rewrite the narrative that we have that we are fundamentally bad. Yes, the scriptures say the natural man is an what? Enemy to God. So that makes us think, oh, I am bad. I'm an enemy to God. The natural man or woman, right, is whatever I want to do naturally, that's bad. And I don't think that's what that is trying to get us to believe. Because then that means that God made something bad, right? He made you. And when he made you, according to Genesis, what did God say at the end of what he made? What did he pronounce? It is good. But on the day he made the human, what did he say? It is very good. Is that what he said? No. It is very good. God don't make no junk. He didn't make any mistake when he made you. You're not a mess up. You're not a byproduct. You're not just a prototype that's going to be trashed to get to the better thing later. Okay? He made you exactly the way he intended to make you. Everything about you, you have to understand, God created it. Every emotion, every feeling, everything comes from something good. We got to start there if we're going to understand temptation and sin. So we did this one. We did the instinct to survive. We did through that yesterday some. We did the instinct to reproduce. So survival is like food, defense against threats, running, fighting, freezing, safety and security, physical materials, right? Having money, having resources to create safety for ourselves and for those that we're responsible for. Not just that, but social survival, right? We want to be part of the group. We need to be accepted. We've been through this. Like we've been over this. We understand that. The reproductive side, human sexuality and instinct is good. It is not bad. Get that in your head. Social acceptance has to do with reproduction because we need to be attractive enough. We need to be able to get along with people and be socially accepted. And we also have a need to know what and how this works. It's a huge consumption of a lot of people's thoughts is what and how. I don't know. Control of resources, physical and social, has to do with our ability to reproduce and protect the things that we produce, right? So fundamental human instincts, those are good things. There are more that we didn't get to, and I want to see if you can add to that. Think about yourself. Think about what from the core drives, motivates action. Or think wider outside yourself if you're having a hard time with that. What else can we add to this that drive action? And the question is, why did I sin? But why do I do anything? Do you have anything to add to that? It can help you out. Any ideas?
I'm always driven by competition. I don't know if that's something survival.
Yeah, would you say that competition is in there? Because it has to do with both of these, actually. A lot to do with both of those. Because, well, females are typically in charge of choosing the mate, not the guy. So it's like you need to show that you are able to like get the job done, right? You can provide, you can protect, and so we need to be seen as that way. And competition between males is a huge part of both of these, and primarily this one, interestingly. So good, you're there. Let me help you out. It's right here. Freedom. Freedom. Because we would give up our life to have this. We would, who's had U.S. history? Who said, give me liberty or give me death, but I will not live in tyranny a minute longer, right? I would rather be dead than be not free. Because freedom, some people see as death. What was that?
I just said Denzel Curry.
Freedom, huge motivator. How about this one? I'm going to say knowledge. Okay? The desire to experience, to gain knowledge, not just book knowledge, Brett. That's not a fundamental human need and instinct is to go to school. No. But we do all quest for deeply knowledge, primarily gained through experience. Okay, over here we're driven by a need for peace. I'm going to say this is peace and happiness. And over here, I'm going to call this one seek the divine. Okay, I think these things capture our motivation. Did you have something to add to this, Seth? Are you thinking of things to add to this list? It's okay if you're having a discussion about that, but otherwise it's kind of distracting. So, okay, how do these play into the decisions that we can make when it comes to why did I sin? Sit with that for a second. Think about the things maybe that you've done that you felt like doing that maybe didn't agree with what you wanted ultimately, but you were motivated. Everything you do is motivated. Everything is motivated, even if you don't even understand your own motivations. You might not know why, but something is driving all of your action. Every single one of them is motivated by something. Yeah?
Well, what we were just talking about is, I mean, especially as teenagers, a lot of times we do things because we want to, or we don't want to listen to our parents.
Right. And where does that come from? Like fundamentally, this is good. God put that in you.
And a lot of times, like my parents will say, "Oh, we know better," and I'll be like, "Oh, no, you don't. You're just being."
You're just pulling the parent trump card.
And then I'll go out and I'll do my thing. I was like, "No, you were right." And I don't know. I guess people do things or sin a lot of the time because they want to feel free or.
You're doing two things at the same time. You're expressing, I am my own person. I do not want to be controlled by anybody.
Yeah.
And when you get to be this age, you have to differentiate from your parents. You have to pull away. Otherwise, you're going to be infantilized. You're like kept young, immature, when you're not supposed to be. And you know that that's not good for you here. And that's not good for you here. So it's like, I need to get free so that I can do these things. It's my instinct. It's in my DNA to do that. So I've got to figure out how to not be under the control of anybody. Because I know that people grow up, and nobody's taking care of my mom and dad. They're doing it on their own. Okay, I got to figure out how to do that. So I need freedom. That's part of that struggle with parents, because parents want you to be able to do this too. They may not think you're ready for it yet, for the freedom, but you're like, yes, I am. And what, in addition to this, what is this? I need to know if I can do it. I need to try. And some parents keep their kids from trying things because they don't want them to get hurt, or they don't want them to fail or cause an inconvenience for the parent. So they keep kids from gaining knowledge through failure which hurts them ultimately. You have to gain knowledge through trial and error, and a lot of error, and a lot of pain, and that's how we learn. Yes.
I think it's important that we kind of have those experiences on our own, like you were saying. Like, I mean, my parents have that kind of trial and error kind of parenting style where they'll advise me not to do certain things, and then maybe I'll do them, and then I learn from them. And so, like, certain things where I would say, hey, I want to go hang out with friends. No, it's a bad idea, or it's late or something, and then I'll go anyways. And I'll come home and like, oh yeah, you were right. I shouldn't have gone.
But now you know, right?
Now I know.
Okay.
Now I even listen to my parents even more.
Good.
I trust them that they were right. So
very good.
And that also kind of applies in the future. Like, you know, you have a boss or someone who is like above you in some position. They'll tell you to just do something. And if you don't have those experiences, you're like, oh no, you're wrong. I'm right, kind of thing. And if you mess up, maybe it'll damage your career or your something. But with those experiences.
Good. But sometimes you learn, oh, my boss isn't right.
Yeah.
Oh, my parents weren't right. Yeah. Oh, this whole system that's controlling me all the time, something isn't right about this.
It kind of puts you in place a little bit because my pride was definitely hurt when I came home and I was like, yeah, you guys are right. But it's a good thing. So.
Yeah, and they need to be right.
Yeah.
That's also over here, isn't it? That instinct to want to not have to be corrected. Or we'll even do all kinds of sins to try to make it look like we got it figured out, you know? So I would, under knowledge, I would also put curiosity. When I think about sin, I think curiosity drives a tremendous amount of exploratory sin. A way of putting it? Because you want knowledge. You want knowledge about something. So people will try stuff. Partly for here, social reasons, but primarily it's about, I want to know what that's about. I've heard that it can hurt me, but you're just saying that. You're just talking about the monsters under the bed, and you're just hedging up all this fear stuff so that I won't try things, but I don't know. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go try, right? Have you ever been in that situation? I think maybe we all have. We experiment out of curiosity. And that curiosity is driven by, I want to know. I want to experience. And God put that in you because that's how you act in the world. Okay, we're driven for peace and happiness. Charlie was saying yesterday when we were having our family devotional, he's like, so where is the good in like getting hooked on meth? Where's the fundamental human good in doing cocaine? Like, where does that come from? Can you think about that for a minute? What good instinct is driving something as awful as giving up your freedom and destroying your body and your mind?
I would say initially it probably starts with the freedom or knowledge / curiosity.
Okay.
And then once you try it, it relates to the peace and happiness part.
You know how the brain works when it comes to drugs, right?
And it gives you the release that like from everything going on in your life. And then you get the neuron like connection to that.
Good.
And then it becomes survive because you depend on it.
And then you depend on it. Exactly. Yep. Or everything is not working, so the only way that I can get to feel happy in my life is by getting high. Because all the other systems are completely destroyed now. So now I have one way of getting this, of escaping from all my troubles and all my pain. So I think all addiction is really just an improper response to human suffering. It's the right diagnosis. Something is wrong here, but the wrong prescription. It's the wrong way of taking care of the problem. And a lot of misuse of sexuality and drugs and food, all kinds of stuff we use to try to get this in all the wrong places. We have 4 baby goats born on St. Patrick's Day. One of them's rejected by the mother. Of course it is. This happens. So we've had this baby goat in our house. I've got diapers on it, and it's like, It's so fun. It's just so cute. But I've got an infant in the house. I'm changing diapers. I'm bottle feeding. It's crazy. But this little goat, you know Zeppelin, have you been in our house, you know our dog? Well, that goat doesn't know what is a goat and what's not a goat. So that goat is trying to get milk from every source it can. And seeing these two meet up for the first time, and that goat's like, oh, where can I get milk here? You know? Oh, I have a funny video that I won't show you. Maybe I will. Of trying to get satisfaction in all the wrong places. So funny. But we do it all the time. We do it all the time. And then in the vision of the tree of life, Lehi's vision of the tree of life, what he sees is numberless concourses of people pressing forward toward the tree, which is the love of God, which is ultimately what we all very, very deeply want. But because the world is so jacked up, and because religion has such a messed up history, they get confused about where to find God anymore. They don't know where to look. People want God. Everybody does. Every single person does. But they don't know where to find it. And so we're looking in all the wrong places sometimes. I don't know how you're receiving this, but if you can understand this concept, internalize it, and when you're confronted with temptation, when you're faced with the opportunity to sin, think, what is driving this? And go back to the good part of you, the instinctive good part of you that God made, and say, okay, now where is this trying to go wrong? And tomorrow we're going to pick it up with, help me understand how these things get twisted and turned upside down by the tempter to become a corruption of a good thing. That's where we're going tomorrow. Come with your thoughts there. I love you guys. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Satch, Brian? Right.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and that we could come to seminary and learn all these new things. Please bless that we can apply them in our lives. We thank thee for our teacher and he puts all the work in making these lessons. Please bless us to be thankful for all that we have and to be a light to others, and that as we all go back to school, we can be a light to those people. And I say these things in Jesus Christ, man.